Welcome to Millennium News Hour. I am Tanzeeba Naureen. In today's bulletin, we will present top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines of the day. Donald Trump defies judge, gives courtroom speech on tense final day of New York civil fraud trial. Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to federal tax charges. U.S. plans to send an unofficial delegation to Taiwan to meet its new leader amid tensions with China. DeSantis Haley trade insults in showdown to emerge as Trump alternative. Avalanche kills one, injures three at California ski resort that once hosted Winter Olympics. Ukraine's Zelensky rules out a ceasefire with Russia, saying Moscow would use it to rearm. Iran identifies alleged bomb maker behind last week's IS twin suicide attack that killed dozens. Magnitude 6.4 quake rattles Afghanistan. "16 killed in Papua New Guinea rioting." WHO says 10,000 died from COVID-19 in December. Left-hander Shota Imanaga and Chicago Cubs finalize $53 million four-year contract. And Shohei Ohtani visits US Embassy in Japan and his dog gets mock visa. You are listening to Headlines Now News in detail. Barred from giving a formal closing argument, Donald Trump still seized an opportunity to speak in court at the conclusion of his New York civil fraud trial Thursday, unleashing a barrage of attacks in a 6-minute diatribe before being cut off by the judge. Trump spoke as the judge was trying to find out if the former president would follow rules requiring him to keep his remarks focused on matters related to the trial. Asked whether he would comply with the guidelines, Trump defied the judge and simply launched into his speech. "We have a situation where I am an innocent man," Trump protested. "I am being persecuted by someone running for office, and I think you have to go outside the bounds." Judge Arthur Engoron, who had denied Trump permission earlier to give a closing statement at the trial, let him continue almost entirely uninterrupted for what amounted to a brief personal summation, then cut him off and recessed for lunch. After two of Trump's lawyers had delivered traditional closing arguments Thursday, one of them, Christopher Kissey, asked the judge again whether Trump could speak. Engoron asked Trump whether he would abide by the guidelines he had laid out earlier, which included not trying to introduce new evidence or making a campaign speech. The exchange took place hours after authorities responded to a bomb threat at the judge's house. Police checked out the threat at Engoron's Long Island home, which came a day after he denied the former president's extraordinary request to deliver his own courtroom clothes, officials said. The proceedings were not delayed. At 5:30 a.m. on Thursday, hours before the trial's final day was to begin, Nassau County Police said they responded to a shooting incident at Engoron's Great Neck home. Nothing amiss was found at the location, officials said. Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to 9 federal tax charges in the Central District of California before District Judge Mark Scorsese. The hearing is still underway, where the conditions of his release and the timing for the case and timing for pre-trial motions will likely be determined. Federal prosecutors allege President Biden's son engaged in a 4-year scheme to avoid paying at least $1.4 million in federal taxes. In December, they charged Hunter Biden with 9 counts of tax crimes, including 3 felony and 6 misdemeanor charges related to his alleged failure to file and pay taxes, evasion of assessment, and filing a false or fraudulent tax return. If convicted, he faces up to 17 years in prison. In the 56-page indictment, prosecutors alleged Hunter Biden earned more than $7 million in gross income when he failed to pay taxes. They said he funded an extravagant lifestyle and evaded taxes by classifying some personal expenditures, such as luxury hotel stays, luxury vehicle rentals, and escort services, as business deductions. The tax charges filed in California, Hunter Biden's state of residence, were brought by special counsel David Weiss in the second federal indictment of the president's son secured by his office. Weiss, who was appointed U.S. Attorney for Delaware by former President Donald Trump and named special counsel by Attorney General Merrick Garland in 2023, charged Hunter Biden with 3 felony gun charges in the state of Delaware related to his alleged unlawful possession of a firearm. He pleaded not guilty to the gun charges in October. The Biden administration will send an unofficial delegation comprised of former senior officials to Taiwan shortly after the self-governed island holds an election for a new president this weekend, a move that could upset Beijing in an already fragile bilateral relationship. A senior administration official confirmed the plan on Wednesday without offering more details, but said such a face-to-face meeting was the most effective way to engage the new Taiwanese government and convey U.S. policy in the region. The official, briefing reporters on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive plans, said the administration believed the move would contribute to peace and stability in the region. Beijing, which claims that Taiwan is part of China and vows to unify with it eventually, said Thursday that it firmly opposes any official exchange between the U.S. and Taiwan. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning didn't say whether China regards the planned delegation as a form of official exchange. In August 2022, Beijing reacted angrily by firing missiles and blockading the island after then U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. Chinese President Xi Jinping, at his most recent meeting with President Joe Biden in November, called Taiwan the most sensitive issue in U.S.-Chinese relations. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley repeatedly accused each other of lying in an acrimonious debate that mixed policy with insults as the two candidates battled to emerge as the top alternative to Donald Trump days before the campaign's first votes are cast. But with the former president absent once again from the debate stage, the rivals aimed most of their ammunition at each other rather than the clear frontrunner in the race. We don't need another mealy-mouthed politician who just tells you what she thinks you want to hear just to try to get your vote, then to get an office and to do her donors' bidding, DeSantis said. Haley touted a website her campaign has created to document what she said were dozens of DeSantis falsehoods and at one point called him so desperate. The two rivals have engaged in an increasingly rancorous battle ahead of Monday's first-in-the-nation Iowa caucuses, with little time left to halt Trump's march toward the nomination. The former president had the support of 49% of Republicans in a nationwide Reuters Ipsos poll released on Wednesday, far ahead of Haley in second place at 12%. For the fifth time, Trump skipped the debate and instead was holding a Fox News town hall nearby in Des Moines, giving him a primetime platform with a friendly television audience. The debate took place just hours after former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, a fierce Trump critic, announced an end to his own presidential campaign after drawing little support from Republican voters. An avalanche roared through a section of expert trails at a California ski resort near Lake Tahoe on Wednesday, sweeping up 4 people and killing 1 as a major storm with snow and gusty winds moved into the region, authorities said. The avalanche occurred about 9:30 a.m. and prompted Palisades, Tahoe to close as search crews combed the area under the K-22 lift, which 30 minutes earlier had opened for the first time this season. It serves black diamond runs for skilled skiers and snowboarders. Skier Mark Sponsler said he arrived at the KT-22 lift amid howling winds and whiteout conditions to find it shut down. Unbeknownst to him, the avalanche had just hit. He spoke to someone who was in the second group to ride up the lift that morning. That person was in the lift and watched the disaster from above, said Sponsler, a veteran weather forecaster and founder of StormSurf.com. There was screaming, there were skis and poles, and a hand sticking up out of the snow. Sponsler said the witness told him. The avalanche debris-filled spanned about 150 feet wide, 450 feet long and 10 feet deep, the sheriff's office said. The Placer County Sheriff's Office identified the person killed as Kenneth Kidd, a resident of nearby Truckee and Point Reyes. 1 person suffered a lower leg injury and 2 others were treated for unspecified injuries and released, officials said. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on Thursday ruled out a ceasefire as his country fights off the Russian invasion, saying the Kremlin's forces would use the pause to rearm and regroup in order to overwhelm Kiev's troops. A pause on the Ukrainian battlefield will not mean a pause in the war, Zelensky said during a visit to Estonia. A pause would play into Russia's hands. It might crush us afterward. Limited ceasefires have occasionally been proposed since Russia launched its full-scale war in February 2022, but have never taken hold. Both sides are scrambling to replenish their weapons after 22 months of fighting and are facing the prospect of a protracted conflict. With the roughly 1,500-kilometer front line mostly static during winter, they both require artillery shells, missiles, and drones that enable long-range strikes. Zelensky said Moscow is receiving artillery shells and missiles from North Korea and drones from Iran. On January 4, the White House cited U.S. intelligence officials as saying that Russia acquired ballistic missiles from North Korea and is seeking them from Iran. Iran's intelligence ministry on Thursday identified a top suspect described as ringleader and bomb maker in the twin suicide bombings last week, claimed by the Islamic State group, as the death toll from the attack rose to at least 94, state media reported. The January 3 attack, in which two suicide bombers targeted a commemoration for an Iranian general slain in a 2020 U.S. drone strike in Iraq, was the deadliest in Iran in decades, as the wider Middle East remains on edge. One bomber first detonated his explosives at the ceremony in Kerman, about 820 kilometers southeast of the capital, Tehran. Then another attacked 20 minutes later as emergency workers and other people tried to help the wounded from the first explosion. The official IRNA news agency carried a statement by the intelligence ministry saying the main suspect who planned the bombing was a Tajik national known by his alias Abdullah Tajiki. According to IRNA, the suspect had entered the country in mid-December by crossing Iran's southeast border and left 2 days before the attack, after making the bombs. The report also identified one of the bombers by his family name of Buzrov, saying the man was 24 years old and had Tajik and Israeli nationality. It said he also arrived in Iran by crossing the southeastern border after months of training by IS in Afghanistan. An earthquake hit northeastern Afghanistan on Thursday, shaking buildings from the capital Kabul to Islamabad in neighboring Pakistan. There were no reports of casualties or serious damage as of several hours after the quake. The epicenter of the 6.4 magnitude earthquake was in Jurm district in the Afghan province of Badakhshan in the remote Hindu Kush region, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. This afternoon, Badakhshan was jolted by a strong earthquake. Moizuddin Ahmadi, the provincial director of information and culture, told AFP over the phone. Based on initial information, we don't have any reports of casualties, but we are checking in the areas near the epicenter of the earthquake and we will share the final information once we have it. The quake struck at a depth of around 200 kilometers just before 2 p.m. and was felt in the capital, Kabul. Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister declared a state of emergency on Thursday, suspending government and police officials after 16 people were killed in rioting in the Pacific Island nation. A police and public sector protest on Wednesday over a pay cut that officials blamed on an administrative glitch descended into lawlessness. Television footage showed thousands of people in the streets of the capital, Port Moresby, many of them carrying what appeared to be looted merchandise as black smoke billowed over the city. 9 people were killed in the rioting in Port Moresby and 7 were killed in Lae, in the north of the gold and copper mining country, Australian state broadcaster ABC reported. The World Health Organization on Wednesday said that nearly 10,000 COVID-19 related deaths were reported in December. Hospital admissions during the month jumped 42% in nearly 50 countries, largely in Europe and the Americas, the UN-backed health agency said. There was also a 62% increase in intensive care unit admissions compared with November. Although 10,000 deaths a month is far less than the peak of the pandemic, this level of preventable death is not acceptable, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus told reporters. This comes when the new JN.1 variant has become the most reported coronavirus variant in the world. Tedros added that he was certain that cases were on the rise in other countries too, but were not being reported. He urged governments to keep up surveillance and continued access to treatment. We continue to call on individuals to be vaccinated, to test, to wear masks where needed, and to ensure crowded indoor spaces are well ventilated, he said. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BT Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 16,818.88. The NYSE composite is increased by 45.81 points or 0.27%. Tokyo stock close price is 35,049.86. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 608.14 points or 1.77%. Shanghai stock close price is 2,886.65. The Shanghai index is increased by 8.95 points or 0.31%. Hong Kong stock close price is 16,302.04. The Hang Seng index is increased by 204.76 points or 1.27%. Bombay stock close price is 71,721.18. The Sensex index is increased by 63.47 points or 0.09%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Japanese left-hander Shota Imanaga and the Chicago Cubs finalized a $53 million four-year contract on Thursday, a deal that includes a club option that could make the agreement worth $80 million over 5 seasons. Chicago can exercise a 2028 option after 2025 or 26. If the team declines the option in either instance, Imanaga would have the right to opt out of the remainder of the contract to become a free agent. Chicago must pay a posting fee of $9,825,000 to the Yokohama Baysters of Japan's Central League. The amount of the fee would increase if the option is exercised. The 30-year-old Imanaga, who got the win for Japan in last year's World Baseball Classic final against the United States, had until 5 p.m. EST on Thursday for a finalized agreement to be submitted to Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani visited the U.S. Embassy in Tokyo, where Ambassador Rahm Emanuel presented the new Los Angeles Dodgers star with a supersized visa for his dog. Emanuel posted photos of the visit on social media Thursday, with the embassy saying it occurred recently when Ohtani was back in Japan. Emanuel and Ohtani posed with the replica visa for the player's dog, Decoy. It shows a photo of the dog, whose Japanese name is Decopin, and gives his birth date as dog years and shows the canine has dual American and Japanese citizenry. Thrilled to meet trailblazing two-time MLB MVP Ohtani-san again, Emanuel posted on X. Maybe next time I will be fortunate enough to meet his MVP decoy. Emmanuel previously met Ohtani at the US Embassy in March 2023 when the two-way player was with the Los Angeles Angels. Ohtani signed a $700 million 10-year deal to join the Dodgers in December. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Donald Trump defies judge, gives courtroom speech on tense final day of New York civil fraud trial. Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to federal tax charges. US plans to send an unofficial delegation to Taiwan to meet its new leader amid tensions with China. DeSantis' Haley trade insults in showdown to emerge as Trump alternative. Avalanche kills one, injures three at California ski resort that once hosted Winter Olympics. Ukraine's Zelensky rules out a ceasefire with Russia, saying Moscow would use it to rearm. Iran identifies alleged bomb maker behind last week's IS twin suicide attack that killed dozens. Magnitude 6.4 quake rattles Afghanistan. "16 killed in Papua New Guinea rioting." WHO says 10,000 died from COVID-19 in December. Left-hander Shota Imanaga and Chicago Cubs finalize $53 million four-year contract. And Shohei Ohtani visits US Embassy in Japan and his dog gets mock visa. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jadoo TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.